Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor. I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Now today, I wanted to talk about something that came up to me very recently that I've talked about with people in the past, but it just skipped my memory until the other day when I was having a conversation. Once again, this kind of comes back to sex. Considering you guys liked the last video, I thought I'd share this with you too. And ultimately, the idea that came up was one of the orgasm objective, where if what you are doing is going into a sexual encounter and chasing just the orgasm, be it yours or theirs or both, then potentially it puts an awful lot of stress on things. It kind of devalues it and ruins it. And we were talking about this, and I was like, okay, well, yeah, this is definitely a thing, because I mean, when we're first becoming kind of sexually aware, then the first kind of milestone, the first thing that people focus on, the kind of rite of passage, is very much who like has it first. Yeah. And then after that, when you're growing into sexual maturity, then it becomes very much more a case of who's done what with whom, and then it becomes kind of how many notches on the bedpost in a lot of instances, both for guys and girls. And then after that, it's like there's still kind of a tally kept into adulthood, seemingly, where it's how many times do you have it how many times do you have it over a period? Is it fulfilling? Do you have orgasms? Is it that thing? And kind of that chasing of the orgasm over everything else. As said, it's a difficult thing, because mechanically, a dude will kind of get to that point in about half the time that a woman will, and as a result, there's a lot of stress and strain where one will finish and the other won't. That can put an awful lot of pressure on people to perform, and so on and so forth, and it kind of removes a lot of the feeling, the emotion, the kind of connective element of those kind of encounters, just because it all becomes I need to win the game, and to win the game you need to use the mechanics, use the apparatus that are in front of you, and work them in the right way to make it kind of happen. Get that win result, and all that kind of thing. And it doesn't work like that, because most of a huge amount of sexual interaction is mental and emotional rather than purely mechanical. And so it's all up here more than it is down there in your pants. And so, coming in and looking at this and going, well, yeah, the orgasm is this super important thing. Well, yeah, but then you're looking at a mechanical thing which has a very specific purpose as well. Even if it feels good, you're looking at that as being the be all end all of the entire interaction. And it shouldn't be that way. And it doesn't have to be that way. Because if as I've said before, one of the things in relationships that is a good idea and a good way to kind of conduct yourselves is having it be a thing about giving, where you're a gift. You're a gift that continues to give to the person that you are directing yourself at throughout an entire interaction. And if they're doing the same back to you, then you're continually giving, and you're continually just churning out positivity between the two of you. It doesn't even need to be back and forth, it can just be an outpouring. And as a result of that, with the kind of power of it, you can really get to that point where you've got the direction. Let's go back to DVEI. You've got the direction, you've got the variety in experience, you've got that emotion and immersion, and as a result, bringing that into the bedroom is as useful as keeping things healthy as leaving it in the rest of your relationship. And so bringing it into the bedroom, in there, well, orgasm is, and the means by which to reach it, for the most part, tend to be, they can be quite varied, but the actual thing that happens, the actual orgasm, is a very limited thing, in which case there's not an awful lot of variety in there. There's a definite direction in regards to hunting for it all the time, but again, that's not a direction that you two are necessarily taking together. It's a direction that kind of either you're seeking for yourself, or you're seeking for them, or maybe you're seeking it for each other, but then you're not still working together towards just an enriched overall. Emotion, well, potentially, if you're so focused on the mechanical element, if you're so focused on that climax, then potentially you're ignoring emotion. And if you're under pressure to perform, or under pressure to make it happen, or to be good, or whatever else, then you're not going to be immersed. You're not going to be in that moment just enjoying it with that person. You're going to have all of these doubts and all these worries just floating around the back of your head as you're trying to just engage with a person that you care about, or at the very least that you lust after, and so, kind of coming back to maybe where we should be approaching this from, to have some of these things not be as much of an issue. The direction should be bonding with a person that you love, or at the very least that you care about and trust enough to share your body with. That is very much maybe taking sex from being a short game with the orgasm being the payoff, which again may be the only sole purpose why you're doing it, in which case this video isn't for you. If you're literally one night stand hunting for the finish and then just on your way, then yeah, this video isn't really for you, because you're looking for instant gratification and fulfillment on a very, very significant and limited thing, rather than looking at the more well-rounded and overview kind of version of what we're talking about here. But in regards to, again, going back to DVEI, in regards to direction, if you're playing a longer game and it's more about connection and experiencing pleasure and sharing pleasure with someone that you care about, or someone that you're attracted to, or whatever else, however which way you want to define it for you, then that's going to help. It's not going to be about performing properly, or performing well, or living up to an expectation, or doing any of these things, hunting orgasms purely. It's going to be a case of you're there, you're experiencing something that feels good, with someone that you want to feel it with. Variety, again, orgasms they're going to happen if you're engaged in this kind of thing. Yeah, more so if you're emotionally connected, because you're going to want to be there, and immersed because you're going to be living in that moment, feeling it so much more than otherwise. So those orgasms are likely to happen. They're likely to roll round at one point or another, and if they don't, then does it matter? Yeah, if the variety of activities that you're doing around sex are engaging, and they're emotionally kind of stimulating, and they allow you to live in the moment, enjoying that time with the person that you have decided to spend that time with in a very, very pleasurable way, then does it really matter if you finish or not? Obviously, if you do, yay, but if you don't, then surely that doesn't matter, because if you're playing the long game, then there'll always be a next time. There'll always be the next time you can try, there'll always be the next time that you can enjoy it, and then maybe that's the time when you get off and they don't, or they get off and you don't, or you both get off at the same time, or neither of you get off. It all pans out to thinking about it in a broader way, so that you can appreciate that you're spending time with someone that you seemingly care about in some way, and that the orgasm is really, it's a kind of immature thing to hunt for just that in what you're doing. There's so much more to sex, to interaction, to being with someone that you love, or being at the very least with someone that you care about, than just purely hunting that mechanical payoff, which, don't get me wrong, feels good, it has its purposes, but at the same time it's not the be-all end-all to every interaction around sex. And so, as said, taking a step back, analysing your situation a little bit beforehand so that you can see what you're focusing on, where you're thinking, so that you're not just solely focusing on that one thing and you're a little bit more relaxed. Because also, again, if you're purely trying to perform, and if you're a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter, and you're worried about performing, you're going to be pulled out of the moment, you're going to be tense, you're not going to be relaxing into what you're doing, and so the chances are that you're not going to find your own orgasm, let alone help them get theirs. So again, it should be all about giving, it should all be about working together on just enjoying time together, and there should be a balance across that DVI spectrum again, to allow for like the closeness and the bonding and the actual finding of all of the best parts of that interaction that you can have. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think. There are huge numbers of people that I've come across in my life, mostly younger people, granted, who don't seem to necessarily understand this, but also older people who are now going through divorces and things where they felt that things have been unfulfilling for a long time, where they've just not had this awareness of there needing to be a balance, or where they have continued to hunt for that orgasm, that one mechanical thing in their sexual interactions, that have then just not helped them kind of bond with the person that they're with, and not kind of develop that giving, caring kind of environment to live in and to function in with that other person. But as said, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Is there anything you'd add to what I've said? And otherwise, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you found this at all interesting or useful, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care.